What's up, everybody? It's Isaac from Alchemy, and this is episode 19 of the Alchemy Devlog. In this episode, we have some exciting stuff to share. Those Pirate Borg updates that I shared with you last week are live. You can play with those today. We've got new attack actions for Pirate Borg and for custom games. We've got big updates to the in-game universe search feature, theme colors available to trackers, and big updates to the Watchers experience. If you tune into any live games on the platform, we have some exciting stuff for you. I'll also take a few moments to talk through what the team's working on next and answer any questions that have come up since last time. With that out of the way, let's dive in. First up, let's take a look at those cool new Pirate Borg updates. I'm going to go into my library and create a new Pirate Borg game. Creatively titled Pirate Borg, I'm going to select the Pirate Borg system, and then we'll choose the Pirate Borg Quick Start so that we get those nice scenes added to our game. I will go ahead and add my test account. Because the first thing we'll be looking at is character creation. With my test account added to the game, I'm going to go ahead and right-click and choose Play to bring up the character creation sheet for that player. They would see the same thing on their end if they were joined to the game, but I'm going to do it all from here for simplicity. The first thing you'll notice is this big Random Pirate button. For OSR games like Pirate Borg, they're very lethal, and you may find yourself generating new characters pretty frequently. So this new Random Pirate button is your best friend. Clicking it will generate an entire ready-to-play pirate for you. Now we've got Hector, who's a brute, with Blood Frenzy as his starting feature. If you want to know more about that, the text is right there below. We can also read more about what the brute class brings with it in terms of attributes. And you can take a look at all of the random features that were selected for your background, flaws, etc. Even the equipment is randomly selected when you click that Random Pirate button. If you don't like any of the selections, you can click this button to randomize what's in there. So now we've got the name Butch, Robert. You can randomize your starting feature from the available starting features for your class. You can randomize your background, and so on. So you don't have to just take an entire random pirate. You can customize things as you see fit. Let's go ahead and create this character for my test account. We've preloaded the Pirate Borg system with a lot of useful actions and miscellaneous items that you'll find very handy in your Pirate Borg games. So everyone starts with a defense action that you can roll, and that will just roll a d20 plus your agility score. Among some of the more useful pieces of equipment are different types of armor. So if we go over to the equipment tab and click on add item, let's say this character is using leather armor. We can search in here for leather and find that leather armor item. Let's go ahead and add one of those. And you'll notice that it has a little pip on the side that shows that it's not equipped. Clicking on this will equip the leather armor. And you see this pop up that says new item actions available. So let's head back over to our actions, and you'll see that I've now got a defense leather armor action. Rolling this is going to use my leather armor's defense, d20 roll plus my agility, which is 0, and then use that 1d2 damage reduction all built into the roll here, so you can see that your roll against that attack was an 8, and you would reduce the damage by 2. If you're playing a character in Pirate Borg that has arcane rituals, you can also find those in the items. Let's go grab one of those. Let's grab Call of the Sea, add that in here. And you'll notice that it also can be equipped, which will add its actions to your character's actions. And then you can roll Call of the Sea from here. D6 creatures can breathe underwater and swim 40 feet around for D4 plus spirit hours. So we've got 3 hours of water breathing for our creatures, and let's roll another d6. We can do that to one creature. I'll choose myself, Robert. Robert gets to breathe underwater. Pretty cool. So take a look at all of the items that are available in Pirate Borg and play around with all the features. We think you're going to like it. Oh, one more thing with Pirate Borg. We have loaded up the GM experience with lots of useful handouts, so you can see all of the arcane rituals at a glance here. You can look at some sea shanties, very important. Extremely important. In fact, I would say this is a critical piece of any Pirate Borg game. And of course, if you've added the actual Pirate Borg module and started with that quick start, you'll have some handouts related to it, like Coral Town. You can take a look at information about Coral Town, see its map, and all of this good stuff here. Let's go take a look at a custom game. I'm going to go out and create a new game. And for this one, we're going to use a custom system. Custom system games have access to a new attack action. Let's go ahead and create a basic NPC here. We'll just call them new NPC. And go into the actions panel for this new NPC. And in here, you can choose attack action. Let's actually go back out to our NPC to add some attributes first. So we'll call this one Brains. We'll give it a score of 3 and a skill. Computer hacking. Now let's go back into our actions. And we can create a new attack action. We'll call it attack, very creative. And this looks a lot like the 5e attack action. You can build out a dice roll for the attack, the roll to hit, using whatever dice notation you'd like. Here we've got 1d20 pre-populated. You could put in a static bonus if you wanted, choose an attribute, even choose a skill if you wanted to add your computer hacking skill to your attack. And then you can add 1 or more damage rows to this attack as well. So we'll make this a d6 plus 1 plus computer hacking. Sure. And you can make this a ranged attack if you wanted to, specify the range here, and even select ammunition from your items, which have the ammunition property on them, to automatically use that ammunition anytime you use this attack action, just like how it works in 5e today. So we'll go ahead and create this. I'm going to call it Cool Attack. Save that. And then I'll play this NPC, and we'll see that Cool Attack in my actions panel here. And using that, we'll roll a single attack and damage card, just like you're used to seeing with all of the 5e attacks. This is also available in Pirate Borg games today as well. Since this is a baseline Alchemy custom game system feature, you should see this coming to a lot more game systems that are built off of that in the future, as well as any of the custom systems and templates that you want to build out in a custom game system universe. All right, let's head out of this custom game and into another 5e game to talk about the new Omnisearch, or in-game universe search features. All right, let's go ahead and create a Lost Druid game. TLD, I'm not going to add the scenes from this game. Yeah, I will add the scenes for this game. Let's go for it. Don't think I need any players in here. Let's just start playing. So with the new in-game universe search features, you can bring this up with the Control-K or Command-K keyboard shortcut. I showed this off last week. Now we have a bunch more options in here. You can search for a lot of different things. Let's bring up a map. So we've got a lot of article hits for Crystal here, of course, but if we scroll down to the bottom, we've got a new section of things. We've got assets. Let's go ahead and send this Crystal Lake region map to the journal by clicking Send to Journal. And you can click that to bring up a larger version of it, and that goes to your players as well. So assets are a new thing you can search for. We can also search for spells. So here we're going to search for message, which of course we had a few other hits here, but here's the message cantrip from the 5e SRD, and we've got the sending cantrip. Any message, any spell with message in the text of it is going to show up here. Planar binding, very exciting. You can click view to take a look at that spell and then send it to the journal so your players can click in and look at that spell as well. Last up, for the OmniSearch updates, you can search for premades. So if you're playing in a universe that has premades, for example, the Lost Druid, you can search for those premades here. And I think these premades are actually in our 5e SRD character creation module as well. So we'll see Norlin here twice. But if you bring up one of these premades, you can send it to the journal and view all of the cool details for that premade character. With these 2 or 3 new things added to the in-game universe search, this feature is pretty much rounded out for now. For the V1 release, this is done. We may fix some bugs, so if you have any of those to report, please do let us know, but this is kind of feature complete as far as we're concerned for V1. We do have big plans for it after V1. We want to bring in commands and different things into this to make it a really powerful sort of command palette that you can use to drive your games. But for today, enjoy all of the awesome search features. If you haven't taken a look yet, we have a really helpful new help article here in the creators, I think it's under World Builders, Universe Themes. We have a long article here with everything you need to know about how to create your own universe themes and what all the different sections of a theme mean, and some examples of what those things look like when you change them. And don't miss this very important section. All the way at the bottom of this article is a table with important image sizes for creating your own different assets here. If you wanted to create your own glyph symbol, here's our recommended image size for that. And sheet headers and sheet footers, everything you need to know, especially the scene title frame and the avatar frame. These are very tricky bits. So let's actually take a look at this avatar frame template in here. So you can download this to use as a template for creating your own avatar frames. The green area here is kind of the safe area, and inside this red area is where your character avatar is going to show up. So you don't want to have any of your avatar frame showing up over this red area, but anything out here in the green zone is safe. So lots of great templates here and lots of great information on how to use these themes. We've got one more thing to show you with themes that's new this week. So let's create our own universe here. And I'm going to add some colors to it. So we'll give it an accent color of a nice cool gray. And then I will give it a few very wild colors like bright red. We're going to go with pure red here. And let's do pure green as well. Cool. With those 2 custom colors added, I'm going to go to my custom game. You could do this in a 5e game or a Pirate Borg game as well. And I'm going to, let's do it on the 5e game, because I created that universe as a 5e universe. Let's update our content here to show that new universe and launch this game again. When we're in here, I will add an NPC. Let's take an aboleth. And let's take a look at its trackers. By default, it has XP and HP trackers, showing you how much XP it gives when defeated and how much HP it has. The fill colors for the primary and secondary trackers are customizable with a selection of our default colors. We've got blue, green, orange, purple, red, and yellow. And then you can also choose the theme accent color, which in this case is that red from the 5e theme. You can see that preview there. Now if we go into the game settings and we change our theme from 5e SRD to my themed universe, we've got that cool gray showing up everywhere here. And we go into the aboleth trackers again. Now we'll be able to select the custom colors that we had defined in our theme for these trackers. So we could make it that bright green or the bright red if we wanted to. And those will show up in the game UI when you're playing that character as well. I think that rounds out the themes feature for V1. as well. So hopefully you all are enjoying the themes. Please give us any feedback you have on the articles, and we can't wait to see what you all come up with for themes. So share those on our Discord and wherever else you can think of to send those out there. Okay, last up for new features this week is our updates to Watcher mode. So if you go into your game settings, you'll see a setting that has been renamed. This used to be called Spectators. It's now called Allow Watchers. Turning this on is going to add a few new panels to your game UI. You've got Watchers up here and Chat. So if I go over to my test account now, I will see this devlog game live on the platform. I'm going to jump in as a spectator. As a watcher, I should say. Now that shows up here in the Watchers panel. And as a watcher, I can set a status on myself. Which will be visible to anyone in the game, other watchers and the GM and players in the game as well. As the GM, if I see a status that I don't like, I can override statuses to get rid of those things. You don't really love this game. It's not true. This new chat tab is a place for spectators to chat, and the players and game masters can chat in here as well. If we go back over to the test account, and open up that chat tab, we see the message from the GM here, hey everyone, and as the watcher, I can send a message here as well. And that shows up on the other side here too. And just like with statuses, the GM of game can kind of moderate these and delete messages that they don't like. We're going to have more features rolling out to this very soon, but this is the start of chat for watchers. And basically the only things that we have left here to do are things like moderation controls, giving more powers to GMs, and letting you kind of customize that experience a bit more. If you don't want any of these features in your game, just go ahead and turn off the spectator, allow watchers setting on your game, and these things won't be shown in the UI and people won't be able to watch your game. That's everything new in this episode. Let's head over to the roadmap and see what's coming up next. So over here in the what's new area, of course, we've got the roadmap section. We just updated this today, so scrolling down, we see that we just wrapped up universe integration. The in-game universe search is done. We've got watcher mode done. Again, we have a couple features, small features and adjustments that we're going to roll out to this, but we're calling this guy pretty much feature complete today. Up next, we're working on playable NPCs. This has long been a requested feature. It's something we've needed forever for 5e games, for familiars, and for followers, and for every game system under the sun, we need this feature. So it's a really big feature that we're taking our time with to get it right, but we're getting close to wrapping this one up. We've got a good design in place, and we're starting to work on that this week, and we should have this out for you fairly soon. I don't have any great estimates on that yet, but it is in progress. We're also wrapping up some of the less exciting things like account emails, transactional stuff, and then we'll be moving on into streamer mode and some tactical features like measurement, being able to measure distances on tactical maps, and fog of war. And of course, we're hard at work bringing all these systems to life. We just wrapped up the Pirate Borg enhancements, building out a core Borg system within Alchemy, to sort of refactor those Pirate Borg bits that we had with all the new stuff that you're seeing today. We're bringing all of that to Borg next, and we are quite a ways through that implementation now. We should have Borg coming out really soon, and we'll be able to share some of that with you in the next episode. This is the sort of mechanical game systems list. If you're ever wondering about content that's on the roadmap for us, there's this content tab as well, and this shows you content that's being entered into the system and will likely be made available on the marketplace shortly after it's completed. So take a look at this long list to see what the ingestion team is up to. And it's broken up into a section for everything we're doing for V1, which you can see there's a lot done here, and then post V1, things that we'll be bringing to the platform after we get the V1 milestone stamped. I will head over here to my handy article filled with questions that have been sent in since last episode. First up, we've got Athril, a familiar name on the Devlog Q&A, asking about tactical pings and pointers. Athril says, hope the team is doing well this close to launch. My question is simply, with the upcoming addition of measurements and non-player characters, would it be possible to add some way for players to point on the tactical layer? Colored cursors, avatar pings, really anything. My playgroup has resorted to using their own avatars to indicate abilities that simply target a tile, and it is very messy. It's a clever workaround. Yes, we will definitely be adding a way to ping different areas of the map and draw a cursor on different areas of the map. Not for V1, but shortly thereafter we'll be improving tactical mode with at least a ping feature and probably a pointer feature for the GM. We'll see kind of how that all shakes out, but we definitely plan to provide this sort of a helpful feature for you all. Interactive map features. Will you have interactive map features built into Alchemy? I tried making a game for my players to try out, but had a lot of problems figuring out how to build a battle map that included aspects like dynamic gliding, walls, fog of war, etc. These are features my players love, also the Charactermancer to do creation and level up. It's been a hard sell to move players over because it's more work to use. Holy pickle. Love the name. Yeah, so Fog of War is on our V1 roadmap. We will have Fog of War for tactical mode. We do not plan to have dynamic lighting or walls ever on the platform currently. That's just kind of our stance on that. We feel like it's a little too video gamey for what we want to do. But with kind of simple Fog of War, you'll be able to get by with a lot of the things you need to do. And character creation wizards like the Charactermancer, absolutely. As you just saw in this episode, we have put in a lot of work on a Charactermancer type experience for Pirate Borg, and we'll be doing that for more systems down the line. 3D dice. Will 3D dice be available on launch? If not, do you have plans to implement this feature? Saul. No, so we're not planning to do 3D dice. Kind of in the same vein as dynamic lighting and walls on tactical mode, we have no plans to drop 3D dice on the interface. However, we are considering an integration with the platform 3D dice, which lets you kind of plug in to any platform to use their 3D dice. Very cool platform. If you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to. And we also have some really cool features planned for dice, not three-dimensional, but some very cool, very Alchemy themed, I'll say very Alchemy branded. Branded is kind of a gross way to say it, but it's got the Alchemy vibe, I'll say, for our dice plans for the future. Post V1, but yeah, we're thinking about ways to make dice more fun. Future Revolutions asks, will we be able to play music from our computer or a linked service, for example, Spotify? Spotify integration is not likely. I wouldn't hold your breath for that because of licensing and dealing with integrating with having to have Spotify Connect, Spotify Premium, as well as like streaming rights and all of that stuff. I wouldn't count on a Spotify integration probably ever. You can upload tracks from your own computer to the Assets tab in your universe or directly to a scene if you'd prefer for a one-off. So you can definitely get those tracks off your computer and put those in there. Hopefully you find those features useful enough for your music needs. All right, that's all for this episode of the Devlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, head on down below, mash that like button, subscribe for future updates. You can find links to submit your own questions for future episodes of the Devlog down below. So make sure to use that, and I'll go through your questions in a future episode. Thanks for watching. Let's go play some games.